Have you ever felt sad, disappointed, or stressed because something did not happen the way you wanted? Many people feel this way every day, and they often think the problem is the situation. But the truth is that a big part of our emotional pain comes from our expectations. Expectations are ideas we create in our minds about how life, people, and even we ourselves should be. When reality does not follow these ideas, we feel hurt inside. In this talk, we will look at how expectations appear, why they create emotional pain, and how we can learn to manage them in a healthier way. This topic is important because many people do not know that their pain comes from the way they think, not only from what happens around them. First, let us understand what an expectation really is. An expectation is a hope mixed with a rule. It is not just something we want. It is something we believe must happen. For example, you may expect your friend to reply to your message quickly. You may expect your partner to understand your feelings without you explaining. You may expect your hard work to bring fast results. These ideas create a picture in your head. You believe life should follow that picture. But life is not always like that. People have their own problems. Plans can change suddenly. Success can take longer than we think. When life does not follow our picture, we feel pain, stress, or frustration. This emotional pain grows because we do not only face the situation, we also face our broken expectations. Let us look at expectations in relationships. This is one of the biggest sources of emotional pain. Many people have silent rules about what love or friendship should look like. For example, someone may think, if you really care about me, you should always support me, or a true friend will never hurt me. These sentences sound beautiful, but they are too perfect for real life. In reality, people are not always strong. They can forget, get tired, feel stressed, or make mistakes. Imagine you expect your friend to always be available when you need help. One day, you call them because you feel sad, but they're busy with work. You feel hurt. You think, maybe I am not important. But the real problem is not your friend. The real problem is the rule in your head. If your expectation was more flexible, the situation would not hurt so much. Expectations also affect how we see ourselves. Some people expect themselves to always be patient, kind, calm, or confident. But humans cannot stay perfect all the time. We all feel angry, jealous, scared, or tired sometimes. When we judge ourselves for these natural emotions, we make our pain stronger. Instead of saying, I feel stressed today, we say, I should not feel this way. And the word should creates pressure. There are also expectations connected to work and success. Many people believe that if they work hard, success will come quickly. Others think that by a certain age they must have a good job, a nice home, and a stable life. But reality is different for everyone. When things take longer than expected, people feel disappointed and lose confidence. They think they are behind, even when they're doing their best. This pressure becomes heavier because of social media. We see other people's successes online and expect our life to look the same. When it does not, we feel like failures. But we forget that we are comparing our real life with someone else's highlight moments. Another expectation that creates emotional pain is the idea that we must always feel positive. Many people think sadness, fear, or anger are bad emotions. When they feel these emotions, they try to push them away. They expect to be happy all the time. But no one can be happy all the time. Emotions are part of being human. If we expect them to disappear quickly, we only create more suffering. So how can we deal with expectations in a healthier way? The first step is awareness. When you feel emotional pain, stop and ask yourself, what was I expecting? Maybe you expected someone to treat you in a certain way. Maybe you expected life to go faster. Maybe you expected yourself to be stronger. By identifying the expectation, you can understand where the pain comes from. The second step is to check if the expectation is realistic. Some expectations come from fear or perfectionism. For example, people should always understand me, or I should never make mistakes. These expectations are not realistic and they create more stress. When you see this, you can replace them with softer and more realistic beliefs. Instead of, people must always support me, you can think, people care for me, but they also have their own lives. Instead of, I must always be strong, you can say, I can be strong, but I can also have weak moments. These new thoughts still support you, but they do not hurt you. Another way to reduce emotional pain is to communicate clearly. Many expectations are never spoken. For example, you may expect your partner to comfort you in a certain way when you are sad, but you never tell them. When they act differently, you feel hurt. If you explain your needs clearly, you give the other person a chance to understand you better. Clear communication reduces confusion and disappointment. Next, it helps to turn strict expectations into flexible wishes. A strict expectation says, this must happen. A flexible wish says, I hope this happens, but I can accept if it does not. When your mind becomes more flexible, life becomes less painful. You still feel disappointed sometimes, but you do not feel broken. Acceptance is another powerful tool. Acceptance does not mean giving up. It means seeing reality as it is, without fighting it in your mind. For example, if a plan fails, you can feel sad. But you can also accept the situation and look for the next step. If you resist reality by thinking, this should not happen, the pain becomes stronger. But if you say, this happened and I can deal with it, your heart becomes calmer. It is also important to remember that expectations will always exist. They are part of how humans think. The goal is not to remove them completely. The goal is to notice them and choose them carefully. When you understand your expectations, you can choose which ones help you grow and which ones hurt you. Little by little, you will start to live with more peace. You will not feel controlled by your thoughts. You will respond to situations with more wisdom and less emotional pain. You will understand that life does not have to follow your plan to be meaningful. And you will treat yourself and others with more compassion. In the end, emotional pain is not just a sign of weakness. It is a sign that something inside you wants change. When you look at your expectations with honesty and kindness, you learn more about yourself. You become stronger. You become wiser. And you become more free.